it will call the thread. Yeah. So whenever I say thread creation, so thread class constructor will be called. And from there, it will go to the parent class constructor. What is the parent class here? Thread. So automatically thread object gets created. So whenever you are using extends keyword, in order to create a thread object, you just need to create an object of child class. This is because of the inheritance. And then how the thread will start? See, in the thread, in thread class, Java creators has created one method called start method. Start method. This start method is responsible to create a thread. Now, what is a thread? I just mentioned that thread is an independent path of execution. Now, let us see what is that. Now, whenever I say thread.t.start, this method, start method, will responsible to create an independent path of execution. That is nothing but thread. Now, where that independent path of execution starts? It starts from run method. Now, that's the reason I'm putting a breakpoint in the run method. So generally, if I run a program, can someone tell me where does the program execution starts?
Main method.
Main method. Similarly, whenever I create a thread also, see, main method means if I try to debug, guys, let us see. Debug as Java application. See, can I say, if you look at the debug window on the left-hand side, main method is also a thread in Java, correct? So you can, if you look at here, thread of main, that means this is the current thread it is executing, correct? So the main program execution in Java starts with the main method. Now, similarly, whenever I say t.start, this is one flow of execution, correct? Now, whenever I say t.start, now if I do F6, one more flow will be created. Look at here. Do you guys see? One more, see? Currently thread 0. This is executing line number 8. And main method is executing line number 15, right? Just click here so that you will go here. So that means, can I say these two are independent processes? Yes. So that is a definition of a thread. Thread is an independent path of execution. And this is started from main method itself. Hence, it is called within a same program. So in the interview or whenever someone asks, what is a thread? You need to say, this is the definition. Thread is a independent path of execution within a same program. So this is the thread execution. Now, so this start method is responsible to create an independent path of execution. And where does the independent path of execution start? In the run method. And it starts from run method. So when I run a Java program, execution starts from main method. Similarly, when I start a thread, that thread flow of execution starts from run method. This is a thread. This is a thread definition. Now let us understand there is one more term called synchronization. Synchronization. What is the meaning of synchronization? From this synchronization only, class lock or object lock, these concepts have come from the synchronization. Now let us understand what is a synchronization. Now let us take some example, guys. So this is the best understandable example. For example, I have a HDFC bank. I mean, like HDFC bank is there. Okay. Now Karthik, I am having an account in the HDFC bank. Okay. Now on my account, I'm trying to perform deposit, and at the same time I want to, okay, instead of let us take withdraw, okay, and deposit. Okay. So withdraw I'm doing through ATM, and deposit I'm doing through Google Pay. Some person is sending me the money. Okay. Now, can I say deposit, withdraw are the two operations that are getting performed on Karthik account. Now initially my account balance is, assume that 7,000. Okay. I want to withdraw 8,000. Or else let us take some amount less, 5,000. And at the same time, I want to deposit 10,000. Now, after these two transactions are happened, what do you see the balance? If this is a real-time scenario that you are going, So on your account, you wanted to perform withdraw transaction, deposit transaction at the same time. For example, I'll assume that at the first of the month, now next month is June. We get a salary on June 1st, correct? I mean, like every month first, we'll get a salary. Assume that your organization is depositing the money. Every month salary is some 10,000. At the same time, can you also do the withdrawal? It may possible, correct? By the time, at the same time, whenever you're getting a salary, it may possible that you can do the withdrawal also. At that time, you're trying to withdraw 5,000. Now, if you're doing, assume what is the output? What is the output balance you can say after these two transactions have completed?
12,000.
12,000, correct? Now, how did you calculate? Even though you are trying to do both the transactions at a time, what you guys will be doing? 7,000 is balance, so 7K. This is 5K. Withdraw means minus, so the balance is 2K. On top of this 2K, you will add 10K, correct? 10 plus 10K plus 2K, 12K. So your balance is 12,000. Now, what did I say? I am doing the transactions at a time, but still you considered only one transaction, correct? See, here I am telling withdraw and deposit are happening at the same time. Same time. When I say same time, even minutes, hours, nanoseconds also same. But still, you are not doing the transactions parallelly, correct? So when you started this transaction is waiting, correct? For example, if this is not waiting, what happens? This withdraw also will see the balance as 7,000. And this deposit also will see the balance as 7,000, correct? If both are happening parallelly. And from this, you will deduct 5K. The balance will become 2K. And from this, if you add 7K and 10K, so it becomes 17K. So either your balance after the two transactions are happening parallelly, after the completion of the transaction, either your balance will be 2,000 or 17,000. If it is a 17,000, it's a loss to the company, loss to the bank, correct? HDFC Bank. If it is a 2K, it's a loss to the customer, correct? Hope you guys are able to understand the example.
Yes, sir.
So now here in this scenario, if both are not having a synchronization, so someone said the answer is 12,000. How did he say that answer? Even though you are saying that both the transactions are happening at the same time, what are you thinking? When withdraw is happening, all the other transactions on the Karthik account should wait to withdraw to complete. After completion of withdraw method, whatever the leftover balance is, on top of that, remaining operations can be performed, right? So that is nothing but a synchronization. Synchronization is when one transaction is executing, all other transactions has to wait on the same account, okay? When one transaction is executing, all other transactions has to wait. For example, if it is not waiting, what happens? The balance may be inconsistent, right? I hope everyone understood this example. Is it clear, guys? Does anyone has any questions on this example?
Yes, which operation is going to be wait? Who is going to decide? Like
we can decide. It's in the developer hands. For example, your balance is, it depends. Now, current scenario, if I want to withdraw 8,000, my balance is 7,000. Can I do? In your account, when you have a 7,000, can you withdraw 8,000?
No.
It's not possible. So can I write a code in such a way that whatever the withdrawal amount, it should be lesser than the balance, initial balance. If it is greater than, then I can make the thread into a wait mode or sleep mode, correct? So it's in the developer responsibility. It's in the developer hands. You can write a code. Okay. So now let us write this code, implement this code in the Java program and see without synchronization what happens, with synchronization what happens, and then that comes into the topic of object lock. Now let us do this example. Now here I have one. So here let us convert this example into the Java terms. Now, if I take the HDFC as a class, HDFC is a class. Can I say Karthik? So whoever is taking the account from the HDFC, this will be termed as an object. Am I right? If HDFC is a class, can I say Karthik account will be an object of HDFC class?
Yes.
Now, and what about the withdraw and deposit? These are the actions, correct? So what are the actions in Java?
Withdraw and
Functional methods.
Methods, correct? So this is one method. And this is another method, correct? Done. Now, how are you doing this withdraw? Through ATM. And how are you doing this deposit? Through Google Pay. What this Google Pay and the ATM? What can I say this? Two modes of transaction, correct? I mean, like these are the two different ways you can do. Now, can I say this is threads? This is a one thread. This is another thread, correct? Yeah. So now we will convert this program into a Java program. Now, whenever I say HDFC class, where should I write these methods? Withdraw and deposit, should I write in a HDFC class or should I write in a thread class?
HDFC class.
HDFC class, because bank is the one which implements the methods, correct? Now let us create one class called HDFC bank. Okay. Now in this one, we have, let us create private double or else double balance. One variable I am creating. Okay. Now public void withdraw. This is one method. Okay. Now whenever you are withdrawing the money, can I say that you will mention how, if you are going to the ATM and then trying to withdraw the money, what do? Can you say, can you enter what is the amount that you are withdrawing? Correct. So that means the withdraw method, you have to mention what is the amount you are withdrawing. So I'm mentioning that amount to be withdrawn. That means this method has to take one argument, amount to be withdrawn. Okay. Now, so what is the implementation? I have to check if balance is greater than the amount to be withdrawn, greater than or equal, correct? Then I can withdraw the amount. Withdraw the amount means you have to reduce the balance. Balance equal to balance minus amount to be withdrawn. Right? Now, similarly, we have to create a deposit method. In order to do the deposit, do I need to consider this if condition? Not required. Amount deposit means you are doing always addition. So deposit also you have, so whenever you are sending some money to your friend or depositing the money, then you have to mention how much amount you are depositing, correct? So amount to be deposited. Okay. Now what is this one? It has to be added to the balance, correct? Can I say this is the implementation of this withdraw method and deposit method in the bank class? Am I right? Do you guys understand this implementation till here?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Now let us, now I have, so in this example, I have made HDFC class withdraw and deposit. Now what I need to do? Can I say that I have to create a two threads? One thread is ATM thread, second thread is Google Pay thread, correct? Now let us create the threads. Now let's create one class ATM thread. I'm naming that class as a ATM thread, guys. You can keep anything. Class name can be anything in Java. Now, how can I create a thread? Extends thread class, correct? Yeah. And then I have to override the run method. Now here, so what is happening through ATM thread? What am I doing? I'm performing the withdraw transaction, correct? Now that means in this run method, whenever I create an object of this ATM thread class and then call the start method, it will come to the run method. In this run method, I have to call the withdraw method, correct? Withdraw. Okay. But now the question is, see, withdraw method, what is this method? Is it an instance method or static method?
Instance method.
So how can I call an instance method in Java?
Creating a
By using an object, correct? Now, so here, do you have an object here? HDFC class object? No. But can I accept through the runtime or run method like this?
No.
No, I cannot, because if you change it, so run method is the one which does not take any argument. Now, but here I can say HDFC bank B equal to new HDFC bank. If you do like this, I will explain, you should not do this. I will come to this point later. We should not do this because if you are doing in the ATM thread, you will create an object, and in the Google Pay thread, you will create an object. That means both are different objects. But what is happening here? Withdraw and deposit, both are working on a same object, that is Karthik account. Hence, you cannot create. Now, what is the way to get an object? Constructor injection. Yeah, constructor. So using constructor. Now, what I will do? I will create a constructor of ATM thread. Okay. Now, in this constructor, can I accept HDFC bank object?
Yes.
Yeah. Equal to null. Now, can I say this dot B equal to B? Correct? Yes. Now, can I say on top? See, now I have the object B dot withdraw, and I want to withdraw 5,000. Correct? I will mention that 5,000. Now, can I say I have implemented the ATM thread? Now, at the same time, see, whenever I say thread, did I keep the name as a ATM? No. How can I keep a name to the thread? By passing string str. So in the super str, in the thread class, we have a constructor. Using that constructor, you can set a name to a thread. So whenever I create an object of this class, what I will pass? I will pass the thread name as a ATM. So that thread name will be set. Now, so I have created a ATM thread. Similarly, can I say that I have to create a Google Pay thread also? Agree with me, everyone?
Yes.
What about others, guys?
Yes, sir.
Now, so what I will do, instead of creating class, can I copy this and then name it as a Google Pay? Yes, I'm copying.
Yes.
Google Pay. Done. Now later we will modify everything. Google Pay. Okay. In the Google Pay, what you have to do? You have to call the deposit method. Now all the things will be same. Instead of withdraw, what I need to call deposit. Now amount I'm depositing 10,000. Right? Done. Now this is all good. Now I have created a class. I have created a one ATM thread. I have created a Google Pay thread. But what is left? What is left, guys? Can someone tell me?
Many plus to execute.
So I have to create a threads, calling this, creating a threads, and then call the start method, and then do the transaction. So, and then I need to execute. So for that, we need to have a main class, correct? So I'm creating another class called main class. Now in this class, let me create a main method. Done. Now, first what I need to do, I have to create for this HDFC class, I need to create an account. I mean, like Karthik account is an object. So that means HDFC bank Karthik account. See, this is a name, reference variable name. It can be anything. It can be A, B, C. For time being, if you guys, in order to understand, I'm keeping it as a Karthik account. Okay. Now, new HDFC bank. Now, can I say I have created a Karthik account object? Yes. Now, after that, I need to create a threads. How can I create a thread? It is extending thread class. So by creating a child object, I can say that thread is created. Now, ATM thread, ATM equal to new ATM thread. So to this ATM thread, through ATM, what are you doing? You are performing withdraw. On which object you are performing withdraw? Karthik account only. So I have to pass the Karthik account object. See, I am passing. And what is the thread name I will keep? ATM.
Yes.
If I don't put, by default, it will show as a thread 0. Similarly, let's do Google Pay. Google Pay. Google Pay, and then let's keep it as a Google Pay. Now, can you say I have created 2 threads? Now, if I run the program, will the run method of ATM and Google Pay threads will execute, or what I should do?
No, we should call the
Start method.
Start, yes.
ATM dot start. Okay, and then Google Pay dot start. Just a minute, guys. Yeah, sorry guys. So we need to start both the threads. Start. Now let's keep a debugger. Now the start method will invoke a independent path of execution, and that independent path of execution starts from run method. So in the ATM thread, inside a run method, I'm keeping a debugger point, and in the Google Pay thread, I'm putting a breakpoint inside a run method. Now let's go to the main class and then debug. Debug as Java application. So look at here, currently only one thread is executing. Only one thread is executing. Whenever I say ATM.start, first thread will start. See, first thread started. And it is, look at here, it is executing withdraw method. Now let's go to the main method only and click on F6. So it is starting another thread. So can I say both ATM thread and Google Pay thread started executing, both independent path of executions have created, and then both are executing run method?
Yes.
So everyone understood so far?
Yes, sir.
Now you can see both are happening parallelly, correct? Now let me do ATM thread dot run. So now let me do F6. Then it will start executing the withdraw method in the HDFC bank, correct? Now let's keep a breakpoint here. Let's keep a breakpoint here as well. Now let's go to the ATM thread and click on F6. See, and it is so ATM thread is started executing the withdraw method. Okay, I have not sent the balance, so let me stop it. From main method, let's add the balance. Karthik account dot balance equal to, in this example, 7,000, right? 7,000. Yeah. Let's debug again. So let's start. Withdraw method is executing. ATM thread is executing the withdraw method. Now, what is the balance it can see? 7,000. Now, here in this example, did I use anything called synchronization? Nothing. I have not used anything. Now, deposit method is also executing. See, both can see what is the balance. For both the threads, 7,000, correct? Now, if it execute both at a time, see, look at here. Both the threads are able to see the balance as 7K and 7K. Now it will deduct 5K, it will be the balance will become 2K, and it will add 10K, the balance will become 12K. So can I say this is a wrong issue? Correct? In this program, do you guys see both are able to perform at the same time, and both able to see the balance as 7,000, correct? Now, if both are happening, both are performing at a time, and if I am putting a system.out.println balance, can I say my balance will not be accurate like 12K? It might be 2K, or it might be 17K, or it might be 12K, correct? The possible outputs for this program is sometimes it may come 12K, sometimes 17K, sometimes it may come as 2K, correct? Agree?
Yes,
Agree
sir.
with me, guys? Yeah.
Yes.
So the problem with here, because there is no synchronization. See, if you look at here, both are, see, now what is the object that ATM thread is working? Karthik account, correct? Look at here. How do I know whether both are working in same object or not? Let us see. So I'm trying to see this object name. See, this is the object it has come. I'm putting here. This is from ATM thread. Now let's go to the Google page and see what is the object here. See, both are same objects or different objects?
Same.
Same. If it is a different, can I say this code will be different, correct? Class name or package name followed by class name, some hexadecimal number will be given, correct? So if it is a different object, it will be different, correct? So that means even though both the operations are happening at a time, there is no synchronization. So because of this, there is a problem. What is the problem? Output may not be consistent. In order to solve this problem, we should go for a synchronization. How can you do the synchronization in Java? By adding, see, which methods I want to do the synchronization in this example?
Withdraw deposit.
Yeah. Now let's, for whichever the methods that you wanted to do the synchronization, you want to use a keyword called synchronized. Synchronized. Synchronized is a keyword in Java through which you can synchronize the transaction. Now copy and then put it here also. Now let us run the same program and see what is the difference. Earlier, you can see that both the transactions are executing at a time. Now let us execute. See, ATM thread started, Google Pay thread started, done. Now, what is the example I told? What is the best in the real time? What happens is, even though you are performing both the operations, at a time, only one operation can execute. Either deposit can execute or withdraw can execute. For example, if the withdraw is executing 7K minus 5K, 2K. On top of this, 10K should be added. Or else, for time being, assume that deposit is executing 7K plus 10K, the output will be 17K. And after completion of the deposit, then withdraw should execute. 17K minus 5, it will be 12K. So that means if you're performing the transactions on the same account, so it has to wait, one transaction has to wait for other transaction, all other transactions to complete, if it is the same account. Now let us see what happens. Now see, from the B, both are having same object only. Look at here. So since I have run the program, the object is deferred. Now let us see Google Pay also using the same object or not. Let us see. Both are having same object. Done. Now let us execute ATM thread first. ATM thread is executing withdraw method. Now what is the method withdraw? It's a synchronized method. Synchronized means only one thread can execute on a same object. Now you guys see one symbol here, lock symbol. Do you guys see the lock symbol, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Now what does the lock symbol says? So that means it is acquiring the lock. See here, this is the one I am referring. Okay, it has acquired the lock. So what does happens is, see, since I have written a synchronized keyword, what this synchronized keyword will do? So here, ATM thread is executing withdraw method on Karthik account. So it will acquire the lock. So, and whenever there is a lock, no other threads can execute. What did I tell you in the example? When one transaction is executing, all other transaction has to wait. Now let us see. Now let's go to the Google Pay. And then earlier what I have done, if I click on F6, it has started executing the deposit method. Now it will not. Look at here. See, the thread went into a stepping mode. Do you see the debugger in the deposit method? No. What happened? Because there is a lock. So currently what is the thread that is executing? ATM thread. And it is executing withdraw method. On which object? Karthik account. So it has acquired the lock. So that means only one transaction is performing. So what happens is, now let us complete this one. See, if I do F6, can I say that this withdraw method is completed? Yes. So once this synchronized method is completed, it will release the lock. Immediately, look at here, the balance has become 2000. Immediately, whenever this thread, ATM thread release the lock, the Google Pay thread will come back to the execution. Let's see. See here, I'm just clicking on F6. Immediately, you can see the control comes to the deposit method from the Google Pay. See, look at here. It has come. Yes. What is the reason? So ATM thread has released the lock immediately on the same object. Google Pay thread was waiting. So that thread has come back to the execution. So now what it will do? See, if on top of 2K, it will be adding the 10K and the balance will become 12,000. Now, when the Google Pay thread is executing deposit method, again, it has acquired the lock. If some other thread wants to execute any other method on the same Karthik account, then it has to wait, right? So this is the beauty of a synchronization. This is the beauty of a synchronization. Now, in this example, what is happening? Now, in this example, there is something called lock. Just now we have seen this key symbol, correct? What is this key? It is a lock. Now, what lock has acquired in this scenario? Let us see. Now, Karthik account and T1 is ATM. It is executing withdraw. Okay. T2 is Google Pay. It is executing deposit. Okay. So can I say both the transactions are happening in the same account? Yes or no? Is both the transactions are happening same account?
Yes.
That means same object, correct? So when one thread is executing one synchronized method on one object, it will acquire the lock. It will acquire the lock on the object. So that means this T1 thread, ATM thread has acquired the lock on Karthik account object. So T2 thread has to wait for the lock to be released. It cannot execute. This is called object lock. Now, the same example, let us take. See here, what I'm doing, withdraw and deposit, I'm performing on the same account. For time being, let me take some person. Let us take Bharat Kumar. Or else, can someone nominate your name, please? I can take that person as an example.
Venkat.
Venkat, yeah. Yeah. For example, can a Venkat also have a HDFC bank account?
Yes.
Yeah. So now how many accounts are there? Karthik is one account, Venkat is another account. Okay. Now, let's take. Now, this is one object, this is another object. Done. Now, on Karthik is trying to withdraw and Venkat is trying to deposit. I mean, like on Karthik account, he is trying to withdraw and Venkat account, he is trying to deposit. Do I need a waiting logic in this scenario? See, it is not like this. Karthik is performing a withdraw and Venkat is on Venkat account, they are performing the deposit. So do I need a wait logic like this earlier?
No.
Why?
Because both are a different account.
So that means when Karthik is trying to withdraw, we should not stop Venkat to deposit because those different accounts are different, correct? Similarly, now if you look at here, when one thread is executing one synchronized method on one object, it has acquired the lock. On the same object, any other thread cannot execute any other synchronized method. But if it's a different object, can it execute? Different object?
Yes.
Yes. So that is, So thread is acquiring, does the thread is acquiring a lock on a method or an object? In this example, the lock mechanism is happening, whether it is happening on the method or happening on the object. Object. Hence it is called as object lock. Hence it is called as object lock. Let's look at here. Now the same program, if I want to change the account, what should I do? Can I say I need to create one more account, correct?
Yes.
So Venkat account, correct? Okay. Now what is the balance Venkat account? Let's keep 17,000. Okay, done. Now ATM thread, I'm passing Karthik account. Google Pay thread, I will pass Venkat account. Can I say these two transactions can happen parallelly?
Yes.
Yeah. What?
Line number Venkat. Line number.
Yeah.
Now, can these transactions happen parallelly?
Yes.
Yes. Now, even will there be any lock in this example?
Not required now.
No, lock will still be there, but those will not be impacting, right?
Correct.
Now let's see. Now, so ATM thread is starting, Google Pay thread is starting. See, ATM thread is what, on which account the ATM thread is executing? Karthik account. That means this one, correct? First one. Now Google Pay thread is executing Venkat account. If you look at here, can these objects are same?
No.
If it is a different, can I say that this hash code has come different hexadecimal number? Yes. Now can I say that means, so now here in this example, T1 ATM is executing withdraw method. On which account? Karthik account. And can I say it has acquired the lock on the Karthik account only, correct?
Yes.
It has acquired the lock. Now, T2 thread, GPay thread, it executing deposit on Venkat account. Can I say D2 thread has acquired the lock on Venkat account, correct?
Yes. Yes.
That means two threads are there, but the lock is on a different object, correct?
Correct.
They can execute parallelly. For example, I will create in the later point of time, I will create one more T3 thread, and I will say this one phone pay.
Okay.
Okay. Now, and I'm executing some bill pay. I'm trying to do some recharge. Okay. Now I will pass the account as a Karthik account. Now, can the T3 thread can execute recharge while T1 thread is executing a withdraw method? No, because there is a lock already, correct? When there is a lock, until this withdraw method is completed, T3 cannot execute, correct? So this is about object lock. This is about object lock. Now let us see here. Now, when ATM thread starts executing, now let me do F6. See, can I say it has acquired the lock?
Yes.
So ATM thread has acquired the lock on the first one, correct? On this object, done. But Google Pay thread is working on the same object or different? It's a different. So can it execute? Yes. See, look at here. It has also acquired the lock. Both are different objects, hence both are executing parallelly. So this is now here, can I say that the threads are acquiring a lock on an object or a method?
Object.
Objects.
So many people have a confusion saying that lock is nothing but they think that the lock is happening on a method, but no, the lock is happening on a object. Hence it is called as object lock. Now, when can I go for a object lock? The question. Now here withdraw method and deposit method. What methods are these?
Transaction.
Instance
methods, right? So if you want to see when so here now here when T1 and T3 are executing on Karthik account, okay? Now withdraw and synchronize, withdraw and recharge. So this lock mechanism comes only when you have a method is initialized with a synchronized, correct? If you don't write the synchronized keyword, there is no lock mechanism, okay? Now, what is happening when T1 thread is executing withdraw on Karthik account, T3 thread cannot execute any other synchronized method on the same object. Now, with this, what are you doing? So you are making the instance methods and instance variables as a thread safe. What is a thread safe? when one thread is executing, all other threads has to wait, correct? So in the object lock, these methods are instant and the variables are instance variables. If you want to make the thread safe for instance variables, thread safe for instance variables and instance methods, then you go for object lock. Now, for example, if this method, assume that I want to make this as a static. How can I call the static method?
Class name.
By class name, correct?
Yes.
So what is a class lock? If the variable, so in order to make the thread safe of a static variables and static methods, then the class lock will come into the picture.
Okay.
Correct? Okay. Let's make it as a static. Now, so static variable once allocates the memory. So let's initialize the balance here. This is not the good example, but I'm just trying so that you can understand what is the difference between object lock and class lock. So in the class lock, do I need to pass the object? So ATM thread, what thread I am executing? Withdraw method, correct? So it's a static method. Can I use it with a class name? Yes.
Yes, directly.
With the draw and then 5,000. Now let's copy this and Google Pay thread, copy, comment, deposit 10,000. So using a class lock, now let us see what happened. Run the debug as Java application. ATM.start, Google Pay.start. ATM is executing withdraw method. Now, if I try, so am I calling what is the withdraw method? It's a static method. So whenever the static method or static variables, you want to make it a thread safe, then that is called as a class lock. Now, see, both are working on a same object or same class, correct? Class reference. If you look at here, I'm using a HDFC Bank only. Here also I'm using a HDFC Bank only. That means, can I say both the transactions are happening a same class reference? Now, if you look at here, when ATM thread is executing withdraw method, it has acquired the lock. Earlier, the symbol is different, correct? Let me show you.
Yes.
If you look at earlier, the symbol, here, what do you observe? It is just giving the class name, correct? I mean, that means it's an object. Now, if you look at the difference here, do you see class followed by T, correct? T is nothing but a generic. So this is nothing but a class lock. Now, whenever there is a class lock on the same class reference, any other thread can execute any other synchronized method? No. See, it went into the stepping mode. Let's complete this. Immediately, Google Pay will come back to the execution. Look at here. So this is about a class lock. Now, what is the advantage when you can go for a class lock? Whenever you want to make the static variables and static methods as a thread safe, you can go for class lock. Whenever you want to make the instance variables and instance methods as a thread safe, you have to go for object lock. Now, how this question can be asked in the interview? How they will ask the questions about this in the interview? They will say, I have an object called A. T1 is one thread and it's executing M1 method. T2 is another thread, it is executing M2 methods. Both the threads are working on A object. When T1 thread is executing M1 method, can a T2 thread execute M2 method? This is a question. Now you guys tell me, T1, T2 threads are working on the same object A. T1 is executing M1 method, T2 is executing M2 method. Can both the threads can work at a time? Or both the threads can execute M1 and M2 methods at a time? Yes, no, quickly.
Yes.
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 Why yes?
Both are independent threads and independent methods.
Different parallel
But,
execution.
but both are happening on the same object.
No,
No
he doesn't
synchronization.
put the class label.
Without synchronization.
No. So here you need to ask a question whether this M1, M2 methods are synchronized or not, correct? The lock mechanism comes into picture only when the methods are synchronized. If interviewer asking the question, you need to say, sir, whether the M1 and M2 methods are synchronized or not. Then, for example, if these methods are not synchronized, can this execute parallelly?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, done. Now, second question. Assume that this method is synchronized. This is also synchronized. When T1 thread is executing M1 method on A object, can T2 thread execute M2 method on A object?
No.
No, because when T1 thread is executing M1, it has acquired the lock and the lock is not released. It is still executing. Can a T2 thread execute M2? No, because T1 has acquired the lock on A. And these are instance methods. I'm talking about instance methods. Now, let us take another one. Now I have a T3 thread. It is also working on same and it is executing M3 method. M3 is not synchronized. So what, let's look at here. M1, M2 is synchronized. M3 is not synchronized. T1, yeah, whoever is not speaking, please go on mute. Yeah, thanks. So T1, T2 are two threads which are executing M1 and so T1 thread is currently executing M1 thread and it has acquired the lock, object lock on A. T2 cannot execute, you just told me. What about T3? Can T3 execute M3 method?
Yes.
Yes.
Why?
Not synchronized.
Because it is not synchronized, correct? Not synchronized method can execute. It will not look for a lock. Whenever there is a synchronization keyword is present, then only it will look for lock. Now, the same example, instead of instance, let's make it as a static. Now, T1 method is T1 thread is executing M1 method on class A reference. Can T2 thread execute M2 method? On the same object class reference? No, because T1 thread has acquired the class lock, correct? It's a static method. Now, can T2 thread execute? No, right? So this is about a class lock versus object lock. What kind of data are we making thread safe in the object lock? Instance variables and instance methods. What kind of data are we making thread safe in the class lock? Static data, static variables and static methods. Just a minute, guys. I'll be back in a minute. I'll just have some water and I'll be back. Yeah, sorry. I'm back. So this is about object lock versus class lock in Java. Does anyone have any questions?
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
There is a two method like M1 and M2, like deposit and withdrawal.
Yeah.
And are independent to each other. Like after synchronizing, which method is going to be called first? Like it is job of JVM. But
yes. Which thread started executing? So it depends on. So you can see here, whenever I say ATM from the main method, I'm putting ATM.start and then Google Pay thread.start. So you can call the start method, but can I tell at any point of time, this thread only has to execute? No.
Yes.
It's up to the JVM. It depends on that, it will pick. But there is...
Others can prioritize.
Even if you keep the set priority method also, it up to the JVM. If you are putting the priority as a 10, but still you cannot guarantee that the priority thread will execute. Okay.
Yes, sir, because
so now there is one method. There is one method you can say ATM.join. So here, if you say like this, what happens is until the ATM thread starts, the main thread will go into a wait mode. And then that means from this line, this main thread will go into the sleep mode. After completion of ATM, then only Google Pay will start. The one who asked a question, you wanted to execute first ATM, then Google Pay. Then what you have to do, whichever the thread you want to execute, first call the start method and then call the join method. So then, what if you look at here, earlier what happened? Both ATM.start, Google Pay.start is happening parallelly, right? Now let's debug this. See, whenever I say ATM.start, it has created. Now, whenever I say ATM.join, look at here. Main thread went into a stepping mode. That means After completion of this ATM thread, the run method, then only the main thread will come back to the execution, and then it will start the Google Pay. So if you have, you asked me, someone asked me a question on that, sir. I want to decide like after this only I want to do this. Then this is the join method that you have to use. Now I'm completing the, just wait, let me complete the. So I'm completing the run method. Okay. Now look at here. Whenever I click on F6, immediately main thread will come back to the execution. Look at here.
So,
Hope you understand.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So does here we require the synchronized method if we are using join method like
Join method does not go with the synchronization. What does the join method will tell you? So you have a requirement saying that first this thread has to execute always. Irrespective of that, first you want to execute first one thread. After that only second thread should start. If that is a requirement, you can go for join method. Whichever the thread you wanted to complete first, call the join method. So your main method will go into a wait mode until the thread is completed. No other thread will start. Hope you understand.
okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Guys, so
The
I just
running
start.
thread, we will apply join method, right, sir, on running thread.
Yes. No, not always on the running thread. So whichever the thread you want to give the priority. Say, for example, Google Pay can only start after ATM. Then I have to make sure that ATM is completed. Am I right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So whenever you have a dependency, for example, I have A, B, C. Now C can execute only after completion of A and B. Then you can say A dot join. That means A dot join and then call B dot start. That means B can start only after A and B dot join and TC dot start. That means C can start only after completion of A and B. So if you have a dependency, you can go for this.
Okay, sir.
Guys, so similar to this, so this is about a demo class, right? So recently I have started complete threads. So in this today, I hope you understood it very clearly, right?
Yes.
So do you guys are having this much clarity before joining this class?
No, sir.
Okay.
No.
So was this useful?
Yes, sir.
So similarly, I know that understanding the threads is very difficult, and you don't see covering this will be in the core Java, right? You might have attended many of the core Java classes in Ashok IT or some other in outside, right? So, but they don't talk about this. They talk about the thread creation, etc. But they don't talk about what exactly the logs mechanism or executor framework or multi-threading, all those topics, right? So, and these are the important questions coming to the interview and real-time implementation if you are working in a bank. So that's where I started this workshop, guys. So this workshop talks about all of these things. So we are going to look at complete programming on the threads. We are going to see, we have seen object lock, class lock, and there is a lock mechanism. What is inter-thread communication? Difference between sleep and wait method, notify, all or why are in object class. So we can see thread pools, single thread pool, cached thread pool, fixed thread pool, schedule thread pool. And what is a future interface? What is completable feature, volatile, deadlock, atomicity, reentrant lock, read-write lock, countdown latch, semaphore, cyclic barrier, thread local. What is a new changes that are happened in the Java 8 for executor framework, producer consumer problem. And then we are going to see interview questions. So this is a complete threads workshop. We just started 4 days back on 10th of May. We just completed the demo classes. So today you are going to get an email, but however, I'll ping you all those 4 demo classes in the chat. So from Monday, from tomorrow onwards, the actual class gets started. So we just completed the initial topics, like what are the, see, till here only we completed thread life cycle. And then I just told synchronization. And after that, class lock and object lock, you are aware since I have explained. So just we completed the initial topics, which you are already aware. So if you are interested, you can join for this. And the timing for this course is every day morning 6 a.m. to 6:15 a.m. to 7:15 a.m. And the class recordings will be given to you with a 6 months access. And the fee for this course is 2,000 rupees. And the duration is 25 to 30 days. So that means by month of first week of June, we are going to complete. So if anybody is interested, let me first ping the videos, all the demo videos links, then we'll talk. See, these are all the videos links. If anybody wanted to is interested, you can click on this demo link and you can watch it. And if anybody wanted to enroll for this course, you might be wondering where to do the payment, etc. Right? So these are the things. Let me ping that as well. So this is an account, and you can do the NEFT transaction or Google Pay. And after doing the payment, you can send a screenshot to this Ashok IT payments@gmail.com. You have to mention your name, contact number, course code is 02 multi-threading, timing is 6:15 a.m. and attach the payment screenshot. So you will be added to the, so once you do the payment, you will be considered as enrolled. You will get a call from the Ashok IT and they will explain how to access the videos, how to join the everyday class. And for all the enrolled candidates, we'll create a WhatsApp group. So see, this is a WhatsApp group somewhere. So in this WhatsApp group, everyone will be added. And then I'll be sharing the notes and whatever the programs I'm writing in the class, all the programs will be shared with you guys. And when I say notes, it is not the notes copied from somewhere. I have written, like, I'm speaking plain English, simple English, right? I have written a notes in the simple English format. Let me show you guys.
The definition of synchronization.
Yeah, that will be there. So here, this is the notes. So this is the notes I have prepared, guys. It's like a question and answer, and which will be easy for you to explain in the interview. So these notes also will be shared with you guys once you are added to the WhatsApp group. Okay. So on the course content or anything, does anyone has any questions?
Do we have offline classes?
No, offline classes, no. I do take only online class. Because I'm a working professional, so I do not have time.
Yeah.
Any questions, anyone?
Just one question, sir. When we are calling start method, internally run method is calling, right? How
Yes.
the run method is calling?
So it's a native.
That is, I'm not understanding, sir.
So inside a start method, so they will call the native method. Native method means that implementation would be there in the operating system. And they would be writing that method inside the operating system implementation, inside the JVM implementation. So that's where the run method gets called. Okay. So any questions on anyone on the course content or duration, etc.? Does anyone is interested to join?
Yes, sir.
So whoever is interested, can you put your mobile number in the chat so that you can get a call from the Ashok IT? Or let me do one thing. I'll just give you the Google form link. You can create that link. Just give me a minute. Guys, I'm just pinging one link in the chat. Can you guys fill this Google form link, whoever is interested for the threads workshop to join? So I can 100% guarantee that I will be explaining through programmatic approach. And you can, so those who are part of my already thread class or other batches, can someone provide an feedback how the classes would be going? Anyone who was part of my earlier batches or thread batch currently? Anyone? Does anyone would like to provide the feedback? I think there are some students, but okay.
Hi Karthik.
Yeah.
Rosmi this side. Currently I'm doing Java 8.9 feature as well as thread batch. So in class, Karthik teach very simple and everything programmatically.
Yeah. Was it different from others? Like instead of theory and all, was it useful
Yes,
in your
yes, yes,
interview,
yes.
etc.?
Yes, yes, yes. Also interview question. I mean, in other faculty, what I observe, na, they only tell the theory, but here you will get the internal also. I mean, how it is working and all.
Yeah. Thanks, Rashmi.
Thanks.
Any others would like to provide any feedback? See, you can provide your honest feedback. It doesn't matter whether it's a positive or negative. I'm just asking the feedback so that whoever does not know me, they can look at the feedback and they can join. Okay. So guys, I have pinged the Google form link in the chat. Whoever is interested, can you guys please fill the Google form link? Okay. And apart from these threads, I'm also taking at 7:30 Java 8, 9, 11. So we just completed 8 features. We will be completing on Tuesday. So from Wednesday onward, Java 9 and 11 is getting started. So if you are interested, you can join from Wednesday. So you will. So today, whatever for all the enrolled candidates, you are going to get an email from the Ashok IT that will contain all the demo classes of 8, 9, 11 and all the thread demo classes. You can watch it, and if you are interested, you can do the payment accordingly. Any other questions, anyone? So whoever is interested, I request you guys to please complete the Google form link. So if no question, that's all for today, guys. Thank you all. Thanks for joining. Have a nice day. Thank you.